Okay, so this is just like a quick resampling tip here. I've got 3 samples here. So I've got this
Bangarang.
one from a famous song.
Bangarang.
And then I've got this one, which is just a beat. And this third one is just basses. So you're probably familiar with this if you've used Ableton before. This is a fairly common resampling thing that you do. So if we take this second audio track here and then we set this audio 1 as the input for this audio track. So you can see I've got audio 1 here and I've got a post effects so that I can add effects on as well and resample that. If I press record here, so if you keep it all in the clip launch view, you can kind of infinitely play through all of these and you can record it into one track here or one clip. So
Bangarang.
So that will all record into one clip. So let's get rid of this and I'll show you what that's useful for. So if we hit record here, we can then, I'm just going to take the volume here down of this track just so it's not so loud. So if we take, if we go into these clips while we're recording here, we can mess around with the inspector values in here. So you've got your mode that you're in. So we could switch this to say slice and then change things like the pitch and the tempo. I'll just switch to this beat one. So let's switch to say the slice mode here and then we'll change the tempo and say change the format. I'll switch the mode to granular and switch say the amount of the way that the onsets are set. So let's set it to 30 seconds instead of setting it to onsets here. So you can switch the warp mode as well. So instead of slice, let's use say elastic solo. That's weird. And I'm just changing the inspector values here. So you know, pitch. In some of the other modes you can change things like grain. I think if you go into stretch HD here, so you've got like access to the grain size and stuff. You can change the way the onsets are set. So let's set it to 16ths and slow the tempo way down or speed it way up. So then things like what this is set to is going to have a big difference. So like if we set it to 30 seconds and then change the grain size. And because we've got it in the clip launch view here, we can just switch, say, to the bass one now. And this will all be contained in the same audio file. So I'll mess around with this one too. Let's change to granular. Put it to say stretch HD. So the only thing you have to be careful of is if you are changing the tempo value. Generally, you're going to have like clicks and pops as it calculates that, but you can change pretty much all of the other values. So then what you end up with when you do that, if you're recording the entire time, is you end up with this big file here that's full of all of the stuff you've done. So if I bring this down, so then this audio file basically has contained in it all of the stuff you were doing. So you were recording while you're changing the values for like the stretch length and stuff like that. So then you end up with this big audio file that has loads of this glitchy, weird stuff in it. So then what you can do is you can take this file and you can do a similar thing where you just record into this track again. And then let's play this one. So now we've got this kind of glitched out one that we've done, and we can do the exact same thing to this. So we can process it again. And let's change the tempo up here. I'll mess with the pan. And, you know, change this to 16ths. Change the grain size. Change the pitch. And you can even go on here and add in like, so because we're recording a post effects, we could say take the blur here. Or any effect really. And obviously it's better if you map this to a MIDI controller, but you can just mess around with this. Let's take, let's say a delay here as well. And while we're doing this, we'll go in and just change the way that this is all stretched. So let's change the tempo. Maybe not that much. Change the pitch. And then maybe change the warp mode here again. So I'll switch it to Elastic Pro here. And then we can go back into the track here and change some of the parameters here on the delay maybe. And obviously you can like interchange modulators and stuff, so let's add in, let's get rid of that bandpass filter. Let's tone down the delay here a bit. So let's take, say, a beat LFO here, and we'll attach this to some of these. And then maybe we don't like that. Let's get rid of that. Actually, let's get rid of the blur altogether. And maybe add a reverb or a pitch shifter. Let's go in here again, change the tempo. And maybe bring the pitch up to a normal level. And then maybe we'll go in and add a reverb. Mess about with these values. Let's get rid of that and add the blur again. And maybe now we want to add a modulator on here. So let's get maybe the 4 stage and start doing some stuff with the timing of this delay. I'm not even really looking at what I'm modulating here, but let's get rid of these two actually. Let's not mess with the mix. So let's bring that up, then we can change the tempo here again. Mess with the pitch too. So that's probably enough. Let's just stop the recording on that. Stop this clip here. So now you've got this again. So you've got another clip here. And this is like a resample for it. Let's just bring the gain up because the volume's quite low because I've turned it down. So now you've got this second clip, which is like a reprocessed version of the first clip that you had. So you've got all weird stuff in here. And then obviously you can say take this, maybe there's a part of this you like. Let's take the earliest bit here. Let's mute this clip. So maybe over here, we'll take part of this. Yeah, let's take that. And then we can bring that in here and put it in a sampler. Let's mute this off as well. And then let's go to textures here and let's put the play. Let's freeze the playhead. So yeah, and obviously you can, you know, re-record that while you mess with it and stuff like that. So that's just a good way to resample, a cool way of doing things, and it lets you modulate some of the stuff in the inspector in a way that you probably wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So yeah, thank you very much.